Welcome to the Geek Show's coverage of Frightfest 2026. And today I've been joined by Casey, director of two movies today. How are you doing today?
Good. I've been up really early because I have a brisket on the smoker. Here, I'll show you.
That's very picturesque background. Yes. Oh, that's
Yeah,
a big lump of meat.
it is. Got to feed 14
Yeah.
people tonight.
Oh, wow. Okay. So we're talking about homebodies today.
Yeah.
Um, I'm going to triple pack this question. So, what is Home Bodies? When did you come on board? And yeah, it's been a while since you last directed a feature movie, 2012, I believe. So, what was it about this
Yeah.
one that got you in a director's chair again?
Yeah.
So free type
Yeah.
pack questions there.
Homebodies came to me through my friend Todd Brown. I was looking for like contained horror scripts during the pandemic that we could like shoot with two, three people in one set. Just because there's like safety and control. And yeah, I read Adrian and Marcus's script, and it like I read it all the way through, and then the next day read it again. And because it was like just the images were just so already burned into my brain, and maybe not
Mm,
necessarily the ones that they were looking to put on page because there wasn't a lot of detail in there on what the space was, but I instantly saw something that was pretty crazy and compelling. So yeah, so I jumped on board then, and that was 4 years. Took us 4 years to get it financed and shot. And yeah, I mean, it's funny because this technically is my third movie that I've directed. I was making a film called The Takwa when the financing for Homebodies came in, and we were out of post and into VFX on Itaqua, and there were 300 plus shots that needed to get done. So
mm.
needless to say, I had time to make another movie. I don't recommend anyone making two movies at the same time. It's absolutely crazy. But yeah, so my partner Karen and I are like, we said, yeah, now's the time. So we raced in. So I would be like doing notes on VFX shots and have VFX meetings at the end or beginning of my day, and then Homebodies in the middle. So it was
Hectic,
nuts.
yes.
So yeah, so Itaqua was technically my second one, and I was trying to make it for 16 years. And then this little sci-fi horror with some kids in a crazy house popped up. And funny, when we got booked into Fantasia for our world premiere, it was just off the rough cut. So I had to scramble because there's no, we never had any intent of this movie being like gonna come out before Aqua, so it's a
Yeah,
little crazy.
the look of fate, I guess.
Yeah.
So there's two sort of hugely important parts of this. We'll start with the house first.
Mhm.
Um, how did that come together, sort of putting that as a entity on screen? Because it has to feel both familiar and sci-fi, and has to be welcoming for these kids, and also a little bit sinister. So how did that all come together?
Well, I think the guys when they wrote it, they just had a house in mind. I don't think I had to bring a lot of bigger questions on what I saw the world being,
Hmm.
and what the backstory would be, stuff that no one but me really knows. So it's in my head, but I needed the space to be very familiar to an audience, yet not.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, you're not in a proper spot, but everything is proper. It seems proper, and that's really part of like your entryway into like the journey you're about to take. Because it just helps you be unsettled the whole way through. And the house is just it's another character. We treated it that way with its own story, its own dialogue, its own its set dressing is its wardrobe, and yeah, and that basically setting a time period that you can't really put your finger on. That then
Yeah.
has the automation that feels like it's new, but also very retro. And yeah, it was all by design to just kind of make things unsettling.
I have to ask about those tapes as well. It's not necessarily a part of the house, but the tapes that the red and blue watch. Um,
I
I
mean,
just have to
they
ask.
they are part of the house. They're part of something much deeper, darker, and sinister. But we don't really let you figure that out just yet.
Hmm. It's
It's
a
all
bit of
part
a
of a bigger
spoiler,
picture.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
The other part, which makes it all sing, really. Well, what's the name of the actors? I've got them here. Emma and Ian. Emma
yeah.
and Ian Ho. Um, how about casting them? Was that always the intent to cast real life siblings, or was it just again another one of those fates, uh,
Um,
lucky accidents, really? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd worked with Ian during the pandemic on a comedy show that he really impressed me, and then Emma had been making a movie with a friend of mine in the Caymans during the pandemic, and she it was her opposite Ron Perlman for 7 weeks, and she was really holding her own. So they both came to me in different ways, but then I realized that they were siblings, but they were 11 turning 12 at the time I worked with them, so they were too young for what we were about to commence. But then, financing is never easy, and by the time the money landed, they'd grown to the age where I kind of wanted them to be character wise.
Hmm.
So yeah, I got my first choice, and
Yeah,
with
yeah,
S2.
incredible. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, and then
yeah.
with S2, I got my first choice. So it's one of these very rare things as a director where like the people that you wanted are the people you got
Hmm.
right away. I always say the people that are meant to be there are there in the end. There's no like other version of a thing. It's that is the version. But for them to be like my first choice and be the ones that did it with me, it's phenomenal.
I couldn't picture it with anybody else, really. Those two kids are incredibly talented for some
Yeah.
people so young. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean they'd come to me as pros by that point because they'd been working since they were like 9, and so like they knew how to be on set, they knew how to come prepared. They were really great to the crew. The crew was really great to them too, and yeah, they because of their siblings and because we worked together before and we talked a lot. We had a week of rehearsal. It was easy to create a really safe space for them because
Mm.
there's a lot of pretty emotions shit going on that we're seeing, and in some cases it's like their lives in real time. So yeah, it I don't want to call it a happy accident. It's fate. It was definitely fate
Yeah.
that this was how it was supposed to come together.
It works so well as well because it has that sort of feeling of naivety between the
Yeah.
two of them. But without going into spoilers, one of them, not saying any names, does something very, very dark. Um,
Yeah, and I kept a lot of it like they had no idea what the backstory is. I set so
mm,
many rules for everyone on why things had to be the way they were, but I wouldn't tell them why the rules were there because I just needed them to do things a specific way for me to be able to maintain my vision for what the
mm,
movie and the audience's experience would be. But they were constantly coming up to me every time, like with speculation on it. We're doing this is because of this, and be like, that's a great idea, but no, it's not. And that was part of the fun. So like they could also perform with that like naivete or that unknown of like what was really happening. Like they got the whole script, but it's almost like I constantly I was leaving them missing one page in every scene. Like there was just
yes.
something that was just never clear and concise in the end for them to get ahead to. And that's also what I wanted the audience's experience to be because you discover everything in this house with the kids in real time. So
Absolutely, yeah. And one of the biggest discoveries, it's not a spoiler, one of the
mhm.
three real cast members is Pal, played by
Yeah.
S. Um, how did that, like, piecing together that role? Because they don't have any dialogue, it's all gesture based, and they're, again, either very malevolent or just quite naive. It's an interesting role, the Pal
Yeah,
character.
yeah, it was always going to be a tricky one to because to have something so prominent yet be void of dialogue. S was also my first choice. He and I had been online friends, and we came together over a decade ago through our friend Troy James. And S was a very talented contortionist, aerialist, circus performer. But I knew that in the absence of um, dialogue and facial expressions. I needed someone who understood movement
Yes.
and not just in the sense of one type of movement or one discipline. I needed someone who was very malleable. So when S came on, we would spend a couple hours of rehearsals when the kids would go off to do their schooling stuff for the day. S and I would just walk, and I would walk ahead of them. I'd walk to the side of them. I'd walk behind. I'd do videos, and we'd just talk about how the character's movement uh would be so uncanny,
Mm.
because there's times where like just like where they even step on their feet, they almost never touch the heel of their feet when they're walking, and how they
Oh,
settle.
really?
There's a lot of subtleties that we wanted to also have things for like a second and third watch for you to discover, so there's a consistency through their movements. There's also a specificity when they blink, just stuff like that, that
Hmm.
we worked out and had a lot of fun putting together. So again, back to like him being my first choice and landing it was just stellar.
Yeah, I mean, the character is so unsettling. I've never known a character just walk past the frame, get a jump scare. It's not really presented as one, but it's just the manner of what that character's put together. It's very, very impressive.
Yes, thank you.
One of the things I'm always fascinated by with any movie, especially from the director's end, is influences. What influences did you bring on board to how you put this thing
I
together?
mean,
Like,
I could
I
see several influences on the shelf behind you.
well, that was convenient.
Yeah, yeah, and well placed. Some of them very well placed. Like to the point of literally being like, huh, that's pretty on the nose. Yeah, I mean, at my age and the amount of time I've spent in the industry, and I feel like my entire life has like been built towards going in this direction. My brain is a giant stew at this point. So for
Hmm.
me to say like, oh, like I could say this 18 seconds of the movie came from this, and this 42 seconds came from this very obscure thing, but it really only came, like I could recognize it only in post production when I'm putting the movie together and going, oh, that's where that came from. Like making the
Hmm.
movie, the shooting the movie, developing the pre-production, none of it rotated around other influences. It was just what the film needed to be. It's only later on that you start to like see your own references in the work, and it becomes clear. So
Okay, it's always something I'm curious about. But the big question is, I don't recall this ever happening, at least in my recent memory. But you're part of a very illustrious alumni, I guess, of directors who've got two movies playing at the same Fright Fest. So how does that
I'm the
feel?
I'm the first one apparently.
Is it
I
as
there's
rare as that? Okay, that's
Yeah,
very
yeah,
good. Yeah.
Alan and I have known each other for some time. Our mutual friend Andy Stark introduced us like a decade ago. And I'm sure your listeners all know Andy for he's Ben Wheatley's producer, and just super stellar guy, and just so Alan and I just kept in touch, and he had programmed Ataqua for Fright Fest, and then when I got the go ahead on Fantasia, I sent him the link to the rough cut as well, thinking like I was like, hey, here's another one if you want to check it out. And 24 hours later, Alan was like, yeah, you're coming with this one too, and I was just like, well,
Nice.
that was, and it was more of like a lark, really, like, hey, I don't want to let my friend think I was like excluding him, but he was like, oh no, and you're the first director in our history that's ever had two films in the festival at the same time. There's many repeat directors, but none that had like two pieces of work in the festival at the same time. So it's
Yeah.
pretty dope. I gotta get it. Like it kind of keeps the insanity of what this whole two film process has been alive
Mm.
even longer, because now going out on the festival circuit with both movies, this was never meant to happen, Rob. Like it's the fact that they're both landing, they're both, that people are talking about both. I mean, they're also, if you took the credits away from these two films, I don't think you could honestly say that they were both made by the same group of people. Like I don't think you'd
Mm.
be able to say, "Oh, that's the same director, that's the same cinematographer, that's the same costume designer." Like it's just they're such different works. But we we're really happy with them. Some of the like the cinematographer is coming to Frightfest with me too because Bryn helped me like more than I could ever explain to get these out of my head. And yeah, and
Mm.
it's gonna be the first time he gets to see both movies with a crowd, so it's pretty cool.
Hmm. And we kind of beat me to the jump there. My final question of whether you're actually coming to a Fight Fest, but with you having two, you kind of had to, really, didn't you?
Yeah, there's no getting out of that. We'll be we'll be there. We'll be there in force. There's myself, my executive producer, Aaron on both films, Bryn, my cinematographer on both films, my producer and writing partner on Ataqua, Peter is going to be there, and our lead actor on Ataqua, Craig Leslon, will be there as well.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's we're coming in force to London, and you know, if you see us around on the streets, we're poor as shit from making these movies and traveling. So please buy us a pint.
Well, yes. Just looking back around the last question, you will be a question on the trivia. I think they do it on the Wednesday night for all eternity now as the
I'm
one.
I'm not sure. I'm coming in on the morning of the 28th, which I think is when the festival starts. And then we're there
I
28th,
think so.
29th,
Yeah.
30th, and then I have to go to Paris on the 31st because Ataqua's next screening is at La Tronche. So it's yeah, from London onwards, I'm either at one festival with a movie or a festival with both films or I'm going to two festivals in 1 week with different movies. Like the next 3 months,
Oh, intense. Yeah.
I'm really glad I'm just barbecuing in my backyard right now because this is going to feel like a pleasant memory when I'm living on planes and trains and dark movie theaters
Yeah.
for 3 straight months.
Well, I was a very big fan of Homebody, so I hope the crowd is too, because it's just wonderful. It's a wonderful, small, little, big idea movie. So yeah, I enjoyed it a great deal.
Thanks,
Um,
Rob.
I guess that's it really. But I will be there,
Oh,
so I shall see you around.
I could throw this out too to your listeners that anyone who's been paying attention and wants to throw in the comments which films behind Rob might be influential to homebodies. I'm like, let's play that game.
Yes, absolutely. Engagement game. I'm all for that. Yes,
Sweet.
but yes, we will see you at Fright Fest.
Yeah, looking forward
It'll
to it,
come
Rob.
all very quickly, and thank you for watching. Subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.